Welcome back to The Lead. We're going to stay with our politics lead. It has been the Rubik's Cube issue for 2016 Republican candidates, immigration. Donald Trump says the solution is shipping the 11+ million people here illegally out of the country with a deportation force. When pressed by reporters today, his rival Marco Rubio said Trump's cure-all was not realistic. But if you ask Senator Ted Cruz, Rubio doesn't have a leg to stand on when talking about immigration. That's because, in Cruz's view, Rubio used to support amnesty for undocumented immigrants, and that makes him and anyone else who once supported amnesty unelectable.
If Republicans nominate for president a candidate who supports amnesty, we will have given up one of the major distinctions with Hillary Clinton, and we will lose the general election.
Joining me now from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to talk about the Republican race, presidential candidate, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Governor, good to see you again.
Jake, thanks for having me back.
So immigration continues to be a big issue of contention within the Republican Party in this presidential race. Let's take a brief nostalgic journey, Governor, to the first time you and I met, July 2010. I asked you about immigration reform, and you said the following.
So the president and the Congress have to step up to the plate. They have to secure our borders, and they have to put forward a common sense path to citizenship for people.
Now, Senator Ted Cruz said that that's you supporting amnesty, and no Republican who ever supported amnesty can win the presidency. Your thoughts?
Well, listen, a fact is that I've learned a great deal over time on this issue. I was a brand new governor then. And the fact is that I know now that that's just not going to work, and that we're not going to reward people who have come here illegally with citizenship. And so the fact is that we've done a lot of good things, I think, in New Jersey to help move this issue along. I have a realistic plan on how to deal with immigration going forward as President of the United States.
You're in Iowa today to talk to college kids there in Cedar Rapids, specifically about reforming entitlement or safety net programs. Your frontrunners disagree with you strongly, it seems. Donald Trump says don't touch Medicare, don't touch Social Security. Dr. Ben Carson says no action on entitlements until the economy improves. Why are they wrong?
They're wrong because 71% of all federal spending today is on entitlements and debt service. We are bankrupting our country. We're heading to become Greece. And the fact is that they won't talk about it because they're afraid to talk about it politically. I'm not. I trust the American people. They know this is a problem. They know we have to fix it. I'm the only person out there with a plan to fix it, a plan that'll save over $1 trillion over the next 10 years. And so let's talk about that. And if they've got something to say other than whistle past the graveyard, they better start saying it, because they're not going to be credible, whether it's Donald or Ben. They're not going to be credible on this issue if they say do nothing. Everyone knows Social Security is going to go insolvent in 7 to 8 years if we do nothing, and that is an unacceptable alternative to me.
You were asked recently about events at the University of Missouri. You said, quote, the lawlessness that the president has allowed to exist in this country just absolutely strips people of hope. I'm confused, Governor, about what President Obama has to do with students and others on this campus saying and doing racist things to one another, which is what demonstrators say is what prompted the protests.
Because this president has created a greater racial divide in this country than existed before he became president. And because people don't believe that law enforcement is going to be supported by this president, because they don't believe that justice is applied evenly and fairly, but politically, this president has created an atmosphere in this country where people feel as if they can no longer rely on the government to do things the right way, that they have to take matters into their own hands. That's exactly what I meant, and I hope you understand it now.
What do you mean that he has created or made worse the racial divide? What specifically has he done?
Jake, at every turn, the president has taken the side against law enforcement and with the lawbreakers at every time. And what he's also done is to not bring the country together in the ways that he promised in 2008. We all had great hope, all of us, even those who didn't vote for him, and I didn't, in 2008, had great hope that the first African-American president would help to heal some of the divides that we have racially in this country. I don't think anyone can look objectively at where we sit as a country now and say that we're better off than we were 7 years ago on the issue of race in America with Barack Obama as president. In fact, I think he's made it worse.
There are a lot of Republicans, as you know, who argue that the so-called Bridgegate scandal damaged your popularity among voters. And right as you seem to be gaining traction in New Hampshire, there's another development in the case. Lawyers for two of the defendants filed papers saying that your administration in New Jersey is inappropriately hiding nearly 10,000 emails or other documents. I want to give you an opportunity to respond to those allegations.
Just complete defense lawyer baloney. You know, I dealt with that a lot when I was U.S. attorney. They can write anything in a brief to the court. It's just not true.
So there aren't all these documents that you're not releasing?
No, we have fully cooperated, Jake, with everything that the prosecution has asked us to cooperate with. Everything. If the defense doesn't think that's sufficient, they should talk to the prosecution about that. It has nothing to do with us.
Governor Christie in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you, Jake.